cross out all the numbers, and she went like this. So cross out all the numbers, you get 63. Let's check it. So I'm going to start at both ends. And I like to count in chunks of 3 or 5 because it goes faster. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, and the one in the middle. So Megan was right. There's our median. Okay. Now, in order to find the lower quartile, we need to know what it is that we're looking for. Does anyone know the definition for it? Not what the answer is, but what the definition is. Calvin, what do you think?
Is like the number between the minimum and the median.
So the number between the minimum and the median? Where between them? Because I see lots of numbers in between.
Like the middle.
The middle one, exactly. Tiffany, you want to add to that? No? Okay, so it's the median of the lower half of the data. So remember that the median is the middle. That means that half the data goes this way and half the data goes this way. So if I take the lower half and I find the middle number, that's my lower quartile. Okay? So let's do this one together, and then I'll have you do the upper quartile by yourselves. Okay? So same process. I start at my ends. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh. Some people know exactly what to do. How about some new hands? I'm stuck. I have 57 and 58. Which one is it? Amelia, what am I going to do?
Go in the middle.
Go in the middle. What's in the middle of 57 and 58?
57.5.
57 and a half. So I can go in between them. Okay, so that is, in fact, my lower quartile. All right, see if you can find the upper quartile. Stand out of your way. So it's the median of the upper half of the data. Same definition, except now we're working on the other half. Those are fast. Skyla, what do you think? 69.5. Can you explain to me how you got that? Okay, so if I cross out each number, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. So I went 69 and 69. So then how did you get 69 and a half from there? Go in the middle? Okay. So, Sammer?
I disagree because they're both 69, so you'll just get 69 because they're the same numbers.
They're the same numbers. You understand that? So if it was 69 and 70, then 69 and a half would be in between. Okay? So, correct process though. So I'm going to add a little 69 here to know it wasn't one of those. It was in between. That's the upper quartile. Okay. So I'm going to stop for a second unless you ask any question, if you're confused, make any comments, things you notice. Sammer, what's something you want to say? So what is the lower quartile and what is the upper quartile? Can you say that louder? I don't think Wajella can hear you. You said it perfectly.
The number that is lower and the number that is minimum to mid and medium to maximum.
Okay, and where are those numbers though?
In the middle.
Right in the middle. Okay? So before we move on, what word does quartile sound like? What word that you know does that kind of sound like? Tiffany?
Quarter.
Quarter. Does anyone see quarters on our board yet?
Yeah.
No.
Calvin, where do you see quarters?
Between
Each one, okay. So here's one section, two sections, three sections, four sections. Just like 4 quarters in $1, 4 quarters in a whole pizza, 4 quartiles in a whole set of data. Okay? So whenever you see that abbreviation, root word, you're always going to start thinking about 4. Okay? Quadrilateral, quadricep muscle, okay? All those. So, like I told you at the very, very beginning, this is a type of graph. Anytime we start a graph, we have to have a scale, right? XY coordinate graphs, we need our X and Y axes. Line plots, you need a number line. Histograms, you need a scale, a number line. So it's no different with the box and whisker plot. I'm going to start with my number line. And I'm going to look at my data to decide what my scale is. So 34 all the way up to 89, 30 to 90. What do you guys think? Does that sound good? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see lots of heads nodding. In the middle would be 60. Okay, but I see some of these values are really close together. So I think counting by tens is too spread out. So 5s I think will be much better. So let's see. I've got 40, 50, 35, 45, 55, 70, 80. Okay, so would you count by 5s with me as I fill this in? 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90. Very nice, thank you. So just like on an XY graph or a line plot, anything like that where I'm actually plotting data, I'm going to do the same thing. But in a box and whisker plot, it's really easy. I have 5 things to plot. What 5 things do you think I'm going to plot? Cindy, what's one of them? Okay. Jonathan, what's another one? So she said, I'm going to put the minimum. What else am I going to put? Maximum. Megan, something else. The median. Tiffany?
The lower
Lower quartile.
Yeah, quartile.
Okay. Gabe, what's the last thing? Upper quartile. I got those 5 numbers for a reason. That's all I got to put on my graph. So I'm going to start with my minimum. 34 is going to be right in here. Okay. Then I'm going to go to my lower quartile, 57 and a half. So right in here. Okay. And my median, my purple marker, 63. Right in here. My upper quartile, 69, right up by 70, right in here. And last but certainly not least, my maximum at 89, right before the 90. Well, we're not done yet. Does anyone see a box and some whiskers? No. Me neither. Watch, it's about to appear before your eyes. We'll do the box first. Voila. Box. Okay, and the whiskers. Do you see a box and some whiskers?
No.
I see a box. Here's the box. And just like the whiskers come out the sides of the face of the cat. There's one. I know, they kind of go off at all angles, right? So with mathematical whiskers, we're going to make them straight.
Is it?
Okay?
It's called a bunch of lines.
No. It's a bunch of lines that form a box and whisker plot. Please keep your hands still.
Just call it a box. I see 2 boxes.
Okay, so let me stop before we're almost finished, but I heard some people say, I have a question. So what questions are out there?
You said a box.
Whiskers. You know, like on a kitty cat?
Why there's 2 boxes?
Okay, so this is the one box. That's what we refer to as the box. But it has 2 parts. We'll get to what those parts are called. Okay. Other questions? Aaron? The lines are the whiskers.
Okay, I get
The vertical lines are the horizontal ones. The vertical, that's our 5-number summary. So minimum, lower quartile, median, upper quartile, maximum. Okay, so let's just label a couple things here. Like I mentioned, this is called the box. Okay, it's the whole thing, both parts. This line out this direction is called the whisker. This side is also called the whisker. Okay, so remember I said that if you're at the median, in the middle, what percent of your data, how much of your data is to the right? 50%, half of it, right? And how much is to the left?
5?
Well, if 50 is to the right, how much is to the left?
5?
50.
The whole thing is 100, right? Okay, so half of it will be on this side, and half of it will be on this side. 50%, and there's kind of the dividing line, and the other 50%. Okay, so remember a second ago we were talking about quarters. Quartiles, quarters. So, does anyone see 4 parts up here? Where are the 4 sections? Elizabeth, do you see 4 sections up here anyway?
These first half here,
Okay,
the 2 lines in the middle,
okay,
and then
and the other side. There's the 4 pieces. So each of those pieces is what percent of the data? Elizabeth, go ahead. 25. So the whole thing is 100%, right? And then each of the 4 pieces, even though they're different sizes, they still represent a quarter of the data. So this part is 25%. So then this part, in order to make the whole thing 50, this has to be 25. 25%. Same thing on the other side of the median. 25% here, and 25% here. All right. So this is a lot of information, right? Somebody in second period asked a phenomenal question. They said, Ms. Combs, there are 15 data points down here. Do you always have to use 15 data points?
No.
Why not, Emilio?
I don't know, but you just don't have to.
You don't have to?
Because the rule is
The rule is no. Okay. Tiffany?
Because not every single data has 15 numbers, and they'll have different amount.
Exactly. Not every set of data has 15 members, okay? So, I know someone who has diabetes, which is a medical condition where you have to check how much sugar is in your blood. And you have to check it multiple times a day. So, this person checks it 5 times a day. So, whenever they go to the doctor always makes them box and whisker plots to show the data. So, if they only did a box and whisker plot for 1 day, they would only have 5 data points. If they did it for a whole week, they'd have 5 for 7 days. That's 35 data points, okay? A lot longer list. Then they could do it for a whole month, okay? And it would give them a better sense of what's really going on there, okay? So, last question before we move on? Okay, so before we move on, I just want to have you repeat a few things so we can make sure we're using correct mathematical vocabulary. So please repeat after me. Minimum. Lower quartile. Median. Upper quartile. Maximum. 50% of the data is before the median. Okay, please wait till I finish so you know what. That's not funny. That's not appropriate. Please wait until I'm finished so you know what I'm going to say. Okay? 50% of the data is after the median. Each quartile has 25% of the data. Okay. All right. Please go back to your seats and I'll give you your short writing assignment.